Hey Joe. Hey Jack. Okay, I'm going to play you all a little video. We'll play the guy we've been watching. I want to play him doing the first four moves of the Muscle Tendon Change Classic. Excuse me, just to remind us all about what the first moves, the four moves are. And then we're going to watch another guy from Shaolin doing a teaching seminar on this particular routine. We're just going to watch the introduction and the first four moves, just like maybe 5 minutes long. So it's not too long, but make yourself comfortable. Okay, I stopped it for a second because I want to make a few comments. Um, this next guy we're going to watch is from the European Shaolin school. So he's like this guy. He's probably in his 30s or 40s, and but he's doing the routine in a slightly different manner. Don't let that throw you. It's still the same routine. It still does the same things, but these are variations on a theme. And this is something you have to get used to when you're dealing with the Chinese stuff because it's a big country with a long history, so lots of variations on all kinds of very classic routines. So it's going to look a little different, but just translate that in your mind to the way we're doing it, or we could decide to do it this new way, right? Some slightly different versions. This next guy we're going to watch is slower. It's much more like Qigong and a little bit less like silk reeling. So it's a little less like Tai Chi and a little more like Qigong. And he's very willowy. So if you watch closely, you will get a lot of information about what he's actually doing that you don't see with the guy we've been watching. At least I don't see. It's not that he's not doing it, it's just that it doesn't show up so much. With this guy, excuse me, it really shows up. He's also giving you a much more detailed information about your mindset, your breathing, and your body movement when you do this. So this is explanatory, and we're only going to watch those first four moves. I think I'm going to divide it into three sections. There's an introduction, which is like 3 or 4 minutes. So he's just talking about the whole routine in general, but it's still interesting. Then we're going to watch the first three moves. And then finally, we're going to watch the fourth move separately. All right, so we're going to watch three things. I may play the second and third parts twice so you get a chance to really absorb that. Okay, so let's turn this guy on. Oh, also, the sound on this is not good, so I may have to turn all the sound up quite a bit in order to hear this thing. Let's see what happens.
As long as you practice the I Ching Ching one time per week, it doesn't matter which one you make. Not at all. It makes no difference at all which version of it you use. But when you really understand that this is a method to keep your body, to keep the muscles and keep the tendons and keep the flexibility of your body in this life. If you have understood that this is a method to just keep the body vital and still flexible, and you want to use it for a long time, then sometimes it makes sense that some exercises are a little bit more specialized than others. I think you saw the first video of the I Ching Ching was on this place here, and there I only make so. I make even so. Only. Also one way. Yeah, but here for example it's mainly the focus is here on this area and the head, the spine. So one is here, the other one is the spine. And now we made it here. Now it's going throughout the whole body. Sink down. One. Same. We turn back. Stretch. Knees and elbows move in the same amount. Yeah? When the knees are straight, the elbows are straight. When the knees start to bend, elbow bend. Same here. Stretch, stretch, stretch. When the knees bend, elbow bend. When you get straight again, and like said yesterday, when you make the exercise, then always check for your heartbeat and for the way how you're breathing. It is said that when the breathing is very calm, so when you cannot hear your breathing, so you must breathe so soft that you cannot hear your own breathing. When it is so soft, then then the qi flows better. Then the qi flows better. Then there's more free flow. Yeah, so try to avoid that you are starting to breathe hard. When you're making hard breathing or anything, or you get out of breath, you put too much effort into the qigong. Qigong, relax, 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 relax. Then also.
Okay, so let's go back and watch that again. Let's just watch it.
Cases are a little bit more specialized than others. I think you saw the first video of the I Ching there was on this place here, and there I only make so. I make even so. Only. Also one way. Yeah, but here for example it's mainly the focus is here on this area and
see his spine and head?
the head, the spine. So one is here, the other one is the spine. And now we made it.
Wait, is he also going up on his toes when he expands?
Yes, he is, and we're going to look at that again, but I wanted to stop and talk about that. So what he was practicing there is his version of the first move. So we do the first move like so. He's doing it like so. But when you do this, you're doing the upper register of meditation, of Jianzhuang meditation. There are three registers generally, right? Upper, middle, lower, right? So he's doing the upper version of that. Meditation is a little different than what he was doing. Nevertheless, that's roughly what it is. When he was doing it, he's explaining that he's restructuring his spine. So by pushing out here, something has to go backward. What's going backward is your spine. So one of the things he's saying is, don't get a turkey neck where you're like this, right? You pull your spine back, pull your chin in just a little bit, and then you stretch up and down. Shu Ling Ding Jing Qi Chen Dan Qian. All right? It's not something that you should hurt yourself doing. You should be comfortable and relaxed. But that's actually the exercise. Not really this, but in the spine, and thinking of the head as part of the spine. The head, the skull, and this is true for all animals, I understand, is actually a vertebrae. It's an evolved vertebrae. It started as a vertebrae. Well, we can look it up, but think of it as part of the head. So when you go out like this, right, you also go back, and it straightens the spine, and then you lift and sink the spine at the same time. That's what he was saying. And you can change your position, right? Start here, I'm kind of exaggerating. Start here, go out. Start here, go out. Lower back, upper back. Lower back, upper back, right? That's what you should be paying attention to. And then take that same way of looking at things through every exercise here, right? So there are other exercises at the end of this where you really work on that spine. So I'm pulling my head forward, which is going to create a counter reaction backwards. And that can really stretch, straighten and stretch the spine really strongly. This is a version of that. It's just a little lighter, right? Okay, let's finish watching, but I should pick up on what Jill said too. Notice that a lot of what he's doing, he's up on his toes and then down and up and down, so his legs don't get static. They're also moving. This is a whole body exercise, and this is something that maybe next year we'll go into some of the details on this. The advantage to doing Qigong is that it is always whole body, always. Even when you're doing really simple, very gentle exercises, it's still whole body. And Americans, maybe everybody in the modern world has this, but Americans in particular, it's like nothing exists below your belly button. Right? It's just like, well, I'm just up here doing this. No, it's your whole body is moving. And this may not seem like much. You can't even see my feet. There we go. Whole body. All right? When you move from your toes, everything is moving. It doesn't have to be a huge movement. It has to be a coordinated movement, right? An integrated movement. Everything is moving. All right, let's continue to watch this guy. So this is his version. He's up on his toes, or the balls of his feet anyway.
Throughout the whole body.
And he's feeling it with his whole body.
Sink down.
Lower back, now upper back, stretching his spine, stretching the spine all the way down to his toes, all the way up to the top of his head. Again, up on his toes, stretching his elbows and his knees, as well as his hips and his spine.
Move in the same amount. Yeah? When the knees are straight, the elbows are straight. When the knees start to bend, elbow bend.
Now he's really stretching. He's 9 feet tall.
Stretch, stretch. When the knees bend, elbow bend.
Now look how far down he's going. All right, he's really, he's got quite a bend going on in there. He's considerably shorter, and he's dropping into his lower back. You can see how concave his abdomen is. He's in his lower back, and his hips are in a horse stance.
When you get straight again.
Now straighten everything out. Now he's coming up into his upper back.
And like said yesterday, when you make the exercise, that always check for your heartbeat and for the way how you're breathing. It is said that when the breathing is very calm, so when you cannot hear your breathing, so you must breathe so soft that you cannot hear your own breathing. When it is so soft, then the chi flows better. then the qi flows better, then there's more free flow. Yeah, so try to avoid that you are starting to breathe hard. When you're making hard breathing or anything, or you get out of breath, you put too much effort into the Qigong. Qigong, relax. Relax, relax, relax. Then also here.
Here's the fourth move.
Already here. Start watching at Lao Gong. Lao Gong it's called. Watch and at the same time feel which areas, which tendons, which muscles, which part of your body is it that right now is like working. Relax. Very soft, very calm. Change. Look, the Lao Gong. Feel in the body. Relax. And still very calm. Very calm. Yeah, no stress. So don't look too concentrated. Don't look concentrated. Yeah, don't look concentrated. Be concentrated. Then you come down. Then also very consciously relax here. Shift the weight on the right leg.
Okay, so he's going to go on to move number 5 there. Okay, so you may have noticed he did not go up on the balls of his feet for any of that because he was not doing stretching, at least not the stretching that he did in the first couple. He was really doing a twist, kind of picking up on what Jack was talking about the other day. It's a twist, and the really important point is watch your Lao Gong in the center of the palm. Well, not quite the center of the palm, roughly the center of the palm. All right. So when he's moving, now he does it. He does his a little differently than the other guy did. But as he said right at the beginning, it doesn't matter which variation you're doing; they're all good. What really matters is what your mind is doing, what your attitude is, and how you are managing the flow of qi through the body. So just in doing this, I got pop, 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 pop up my vertebrae, and you may too. Again, it's not about forcing yourself into an uncomfortable position. It's just about, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Go to the place that's kind of on the edge of your comfort zone. Don't push it into real discomfort. And he was talking about just doing this once a week. All right? If you did it every day, within a couple of weeks, you would get, you would loosen all this up and get a much better stretch, right? Anyway, any comments?
I like this. One thing I like about it a lot, as opposed to the other one, and the other one I like a lot as well, is it's sort of more conscious of the and more focused, more maybe a little bit more meditative of the movements. And we didn't really talk in the other one. I don't think we talked much or at all about sort of the internalization of the choreography. So
Right.
this I like this a lot because and I've noticed when people can be in different states when they're doing it. This one is really very focused on the actual stretch that you're experiencing. I think we should do this.
I agree. I think we will spend a little time. He goes through all 12 of the exercises, so we will slowly go through. These first four are pretty quick. After this, we'll probably just do one at a time. But Jack, I agree with you completely. It's not that one is better than the other. They're just different. They're apples and oranges. The guy we watched first is his presentation is a little more to the outside of the body. He's he's actually one of the fighting monks, or he was when he was at Shaolin. This guy may have been too, but you can tell he's much more meditative. So one is a little bit more, get into the body, and this guy is a little more internal. So he's bringing out aspects of the Qigong that is actually a lot more Qigong-like. And I think it's an excellent complement to what we were doing before. Okay, so what I suggest we do now is maybe do these first four moves just by themselves a couple times, maybe three times. And you notice also, this guy's slower. When you do a demonstration, there's a tendency to kind of go a little fast because you're wanting to get all this stuff out there, and you don't want to make a really long video because you lose people when you do that. But slow is so much better. He's not super slow, but it is slower, and he's allowing himself to sink into the movement. And you do a movement, and then you sink into it a little bit for a few seconds, and then you go and you do the next movement and you sink into it for a few seconds. I like that too. It's much more relaxed feeling. Jill, you look like you want to say something. No? Okay, I thought you did.
No, well, I was gonna say he couldn't say the word relax more. Yeah, I really enjoyed, especially the like the uh discussing like how the breathing should be,
Yes.
that the chi is flowing, it's just like, which of course then I'm kind of wondering is like, how does that work in, like
Well,
you're actually exercising to.
if you get good at this, if you've done a number of years of Tai Chi and Qigong, you can use almost any breathing pattern, slow, fast, very quiet, very noisy, and your chi will move fine.
Mhm,
Not at the beginning.
mhm,
At the beginning, what he's saying, and actually for the way that he's doing this, it's not just at the beginning, it should always be that way. Um, just, all that kind of stuff takes you away from relaxing.
mhm.
Relaxing into that movement. Boy, that got me down here. Um, just relaxing into it. So, Jill, I agree with you. I think that was a very important point that he brought up. So, Jack, I'm going to turn this over to you again with a suggestion. Maybe do this 3 or 4 times. Just the first couple of moves, and do them really slow, and talk about it, whatever you got to do, and then at the end go through the whole system, all 12 moves.
So I'm doing we're doing the new movements.
That is up to you guys, seriously.
Hmm.
Because all these variations, and there are many other variations, all these variations are good. There's nothing wrong with them. And it's good to get a little experience. The one that he was doing, um, you could do it. You could do it with this, right? But I have to admit, it's much more effective when you do it with open palms, right? So it's up to you. Do what you feel like doing.
Okay, yeah, I'm not. I guess I'll just I'll improvise.
Very good.
Maybe
Okay.
Jill, maybe we'll just start with this and then go into the rest of the exercise as we know it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, I think what I was thinking is that, we can take the concepts that he was talking about and applying them into what we know. I don't
Guys,
know.
that is exactly what you have to do.
Mhm.
Jill, you are absolutely spot on. Look for the basic principles, the breathing principles, the movement principles, and and then take them into whatever it is you're doing and see what happens. That's being a student is a very active thing. In America, a lot of being a student is very passive. You sit there and they dump information on you, right? You cannot do that in Tai Chi and Qigong, or you will never get it. It has to be interactive and it has to be active on your part. So, Jill, Master Jean would say, "Oh, Jill, number one, number one." I'm going to mute
Number
myself.
one.
Yes. Oh, and just an aside, did you happen to notice that the brand of shoes that the
Yes, yes.
teacher is Matt's favorite brand?
Oh, is that this? They're
Something
like $3 on Alibaba or something like that.
like that. Yeah.
That's the big brand in China. Almost everybody wears it. All right, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay,
All right, let's do something.
let's do something.
I got more pops in my spine that time.